In this video, I'm going to show you your course files and how to actually get started throughout the rest of this course. So once you set up Coda and you have your site set up, okay, double click on the site. So you would see two folders here, template site and your project. Template site is, well, exactly what it means. It's just a template, and I recommend that you don't actually edit on the template site itself. It's just for your reference. So it comes with index.html and template.html, and there is a folder with images, okay, and that folder contains all the sample images that I have used throughout this course, and also all the icons that you see on the page itself. Okay, so you have lots of icons. I'll be adding more icons later on, and there's a folder called assets as well. So this is where all the CSS style sheets, the fonts for Bootstrap and Font Awesome, the JavaScript files, and also all the themes are located. Now let's collapse that again. So this is just for your reference, the template site, but all your work will be done in the folder called your project. So under your project, you have a duplicate of what you see here. Assets is contains all the same files over here. Images contains all the same files as the template folder, but your project folder also has snippets. So this is a very handy way for you to get the necessary Bootstrap codes, HTML codes, for you to be able to build a website very quickly. So these are all snippets for accordion, button group, button single. I think it's self-explanatory over here. Now I could of course direct you to the Bootstrap website to get those codes, but that's really, well, it's really a pain in the ass because not all of the Bootstrap documentation or the sample codes that they show you on the website is complete. Some of them are overly complex. So the ones that you have here is just very simple, basic codes, just enough to get the job done without all the extra bells and whistles. Okay, so the blank file here, let's preview that. So all it says here is a blank slate for you to build quickly. And that's exactly what the blank file is for. So when you want to work on different elements, for example, if you want to build a navbar, you can copy or you can open blank.html and you can go to the HTML view of it, and now you can click on file again and you can save as. Okay, so you can save this as anything you want, but you'll always start with this basic blank file. Okay, now let's go back to the template side because this is where all the interesting stuff is. Let's click on index.html. Now let's click on preview, or you can click on preview in a new window at the bottom here. So this is your main Bootstrap files. It has all the common elements that are used in Bootstrap. It has the navbar, a search option here, some static text in the navbar. It has some Font Awesome icons, drop down for the navbar with a span, a label as well. It has the jumbotron, okay, and you have well, simple elements of a testimonial using default Bootstrap classes like block quote. Okay, next you have full width carousel, and you can click on the carousel itself to slide to the next images. And you have, well, let me make this just a little bit bigger. Okay, and then you have normal tab. So these are tab elements and you can click through it. So within these tab elements you also have the responsive video, which actually resizes according to your browser size. You have embedded maps and responsive tables with labels and some sample dummy data over here. Okay, and you have image-based content blocks, and this is a very common element to use on any website. You have thumbnails, okay, thumbnails over here, and the thumbnail buttons, sample buttons using button toolbar and button groups, and also a drop up, which is a variation of drop down for Bootstrap. You have the pagination, and you have more elements like page header for Bootstrap. You have the breadcrumbs, the lead paragraph, an image that has some of the CSS classes in Bootstrap to make it look like a thumbnail, which is also responsive. You have some basic paragraph text, you have a simple ordered list, and a fancy ordered list that is using fonts from Font Awesome. And you have some sample on what you can achieve in Bootstrap. Over here you have the collapsible group, and here you have sample buttons, but the buttons does really it's really more than just a button. If you click on it, it collapses, or actually it expands to show you an alert message. Okay, this is just an example of what you can do in Bootstrap, what I will teach you to do in this course. And of course, no website is complete without pricing and sign up options. So I've constructed this 100% using Bootstrap, nothing else. Next, you go to the footer section, which has got your address, contact email, some stuff about your company, some sample blog post titles, and also an embedded live Twitter widget that shows all your latest tweets. And finally, at the bottom, you have the copyright section of your website. Okay, now let's go back to template site and let's look at the other file that is included in template site. Let me click on this template site, which is template.html. Okay, so template.html has all the elements that you see on the Bootstrap website. Okay, all the buttons in all the different colors, all the tables, different variations of tables, thumbnails, labels, badges, drop down menus, nav bars, alerts, progress bars, list groups, panels, wells, carousel, etc. So between these two files, you already have all the sample codes that you will ever need in order for you to create your own website with Bootstrap. Now let's go back to index.html. Okay, so the one thing that you probably notice is that this is just the vanilla version of Bootstrap, or the default version of Bootstrap without any additional styling. So where are all those additional good looking Bootstrap sites that I showed you in the previous videos? Well, it's all here actually, but it's all been commented out in this section that you see here. So if you want to preview this exact template with different themes, all you need to do is uncomment the section here, delete, and this is the beauty of Coda, is that you can see the changes instantly. So I've gone through a great lengths here to make sure that I created a template site that looks good in all the themes, all the 15 or 16 themes included here. Okay, and these are all the other themes that you can use. Now you can just change this to, you can uncomment the rest of it as well, but you can just follow the names that you see here and you can change it to whatever you want. So I'm going to change it to the Cosmo theme, and now this looks beautiful. This looks like some kind of material design website. Again, every single element will look different, everything will look different, and that's the beauty of using a CSS framework like Bootstrap, is that it's so easy to customize your site. Once you've set it up with Bootstrap, all you need to do is add your own CSS or your own style. So some of the really cool styles that you can see, well, I guess beauty is really a matter of taste, but these are the ones that I like. Darkly, okay, and that has a really dark theme. It looks good, it looks gorgeous actually. And as well as Flatly, and this is, well, if you know what flat design means, this is an example of Bootstrap with flat design. So no gradients, nothing, just flat, simple, bright colors. And others like Paper, okay, Paper, and Readable. Okay, so Readable has really got big, bold fonts. Again, it's really a matter of taste. You can edit in whatever you want, and some of the examples I will show you with using some of the themes, but most of the videos I'll show you just using the very basic vanilla version of Bootstrap. So I'm going to comment this out again. Okay, so we will stick to the vanilla version of Bootstrap for a lot of the examples, but I just want you to know that anytime you want, you can just uncomment any of these options here to have a much a better looking version of Bootstrap, and it's really up to you. Okay, so those are the course files. Again, if you've set it up properly, you will see template site, index.html, HTML template. This is only for your reference, as I mentioned before, but your project, and this is where you'll be building your site. So every single thing you want to do, you will start with blank.html, you'll open blank.html, and you will save it immediately as something else. And then you will start building the different elements and finally build your complete website. Okay, so let's get on with the rest of the course.